I got a big home in corn feeding ma. All I need is pretty girl when I'm out. Dark clouds rising, sure a sign of rain. Get your grapevine on, sweet little last train. I got a big home in corn feeding ma. All I need is pretty girl feeding where I'm
Threat to justice everywhere. And injustice in Gaza is a threat to justice in the United States of America. I rise to announce that the movement to impeach the president has begun. I rise to announce that I will bring articles of impeachment against the president for dastardly deeds proposed and dastardly deeds done.
We will win. We will win.
We want waste. We want waste.
Including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, yes.
I thought that would. No.
Oh, I got it from the
I ran for
employees.
president like you. I got millions and millions of contributions. They did not come from the executives, not one nickel of PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. They came from workers.
2020.
Oh,
In 2020,
great.
you will
So they
be
still came from the
single
drug company.
largest
Because I have
receiver of pharmaceutical money.
contributions from workers all over this country.
Workers of the
with
world
a nickel,
unite.
Not a nickel from corporate
You were the
PACs.
single largest acceptor of pharmaceutical dollars.
No,
Is that how you bought
workers
3
in
houses, Bernie?
5 million.
Yeah, out of 200 million. All right.
I'll take a bit of umbrage here. I'll speak on behalf of my colleagues. I think I can say we are all willing to work with anyone who's serious about doing the work of censoring the American people and advancing progress.
What?
But they are not serious.
Censoring?
And of course,
To start
Here's
lifting
the
weights
old
with
toad right there, Lloyd
you. It wasn't
Austin.
just weights. He did the whole regimen and routine.
Had a black
That's
mask.
your Secretary of Defense.
Space field.
Meanwhile, you had Lloyd Austin, who's a joke and an insult to all of our senses. Who had to be
I'm a toad.
hospitalized secretly
I'm a
and privately.
toad. I'm an old toad.
Well, let's get these images up.
Whoops, wrong one. Try it again.
Okay.
Stupid thing.
Okay. Whoa, whoa. Put on the brakes. Welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, hoofties, pufties, bung-eyed heifers, right and left wing wackos, woodchucks, and chuckettes, kings and queens of the Northeast Kingdom, which is what we call this corner of Vermont, to another version of It's News to Us. And you are watching It's News to Us. We're Newport, Vermont's oldest TV news watchers. New brown cows, locals say. Been here since 2009. They're gonna need the jaws of life to pry my ass out of here. And we cater to everybody here: men, women, men who think they're women who think they're men. You're all inclusive here. Oh. Okay, and this week is brought to you by cocaine toothache drops. That's right. Just like the 1970s when they thought it wasn't addictive. And we're also brought to you by Ivor Johnson, Arms and Cycle Works. That's right. I'm getting an echo. I think I'm too loud, Terry.
I'll take care of that right now.
Yeah, Ivor Johnson's. They made a 9-shot revolver that somehow Sirhan, that's better, yep. Somehow Sirhan managed to get off 11 shots from a 9-shot Ivor Johnson revolver.
Now that's a good one.
Yeah, and 1 or 2 of them were from the rear. How that happens is beyond me, because Sirhan was in front of Bobby Kennedy. But don't ask too many questions. Just go back to sleep. Go back to sleep. And this is for Anthony Fauci. Someday the truth will come out, and it should, as it should. It always does. And I got a message on my email to call. They're soliciting opinions here in Vermont for Representative Becca Balint and Pee Wee Welch and Boyne, and they want to hear from you. So here's the numbers. These are all toll-free. Call them up. Let them know how you feel.
I'm going to take a picture of that with my phone so I can call them. I mean, I can find it on Google, but this is easy if I take a picture.
Yeah. Or I could just write it down on a piece of paper.
Yeah, but the phone's so quick. You got like one click. By the way, speaking of all the transgender people, did you see that, what did Trump say? He wasn't going to pay for any more of this with anybody under 19?
Well, that's the whole thing. If you can't get a tattoo until you're 18, I mean, you can go see Dr. Cut your wang off. As a kid, I mean, this is irreversible surgery, boys and girls. And
yeah, I don't understand that. How you can have to have your parents' permission to have a tattoo, but you can go have a sex change.
Yeah, in some states. It's crazy. Oh, in the booth we have Philo T. Farnsworth, College of Musical Knowledge. You can see him waving behind the glass. And we keep him behind the glass because we don't want him to come out and bite anybody. And we slide a pizza under the door every now and then, keep up his strength. You can see his videos. He's the Rolls Royce of drummers. You can see his videos at Terry DeFazio on YouTube. And
I just sent you one last night, Steve.
I saw the picture of the Polish houses. I didn't see the.
Oh, I sent you a link to the the video.
Okay. Well, anyways, now that you know who we are, where we are, we got a boatload of news here. Oh, a boatload.
Lay it on us, Steve.
Oh, yeah. Last week, for those of you who are paying attention, all my viewership, well, they do run this on cable out of Newport, so the people who are trapped with cable have to watch this show, or they at least have it to watch. Last week, the studio printed up the list of 50 USAID Hornswoggle. Thanks, Terry. The stuff that we're spending our money on. So, let's see. There's 45 pages, double-sided. So there's almost 100, or maybe there's 100. Well, some pages have 1, 2, 3 on per page. So if you got 45 pages, double-sided with 3 on each side, that's a lot of boondoggles. So anyways, I'm sure you've seen or heard the more preposterous ones on the news, but we've got some good ones here. It's a wildlife conservation in Peru, 13,457,000. Capacity, let's see, will reduce demand for illegal harvest and trade in timber plants, fish, wildlife, gold, minerals that degrade the region and threaten the viability and security of vulnerable communities and sustainability of the blah, blah, blah. Here's another one. To the World Wildlife Fund. Now, I thought they were just, what do you call it? Like a 501c3 nonprofit, right, Philo? They take in plenty of donations.
I sort of thought that way too.
Yeah. Well, they managed to hornswoggle $31 million, $322,000 for biodiversity in Vietnam. Biodiversity conservation activity in Vietnam. United Nations Human Settlement Program, 10 million. Building Back Better and Resilience Building, an integrated territorial approach in Sofala province, Mozambique. Okay, great. Here's another one for Creative Associates International, 29,369,367 for Guatemala. Awarded by USAID. Description, USAID Communities Building Peace Together Project. Doesn't that make you feel all warm and fuzzy?
I can't forget Milton Berle's favorite charity that he used to give to. Remember Milton Berle?
Yeah.
He
Uncle
liked
Milty.
he was doing a skit where he was trying to explain his taxes, right? And they were auditing him. He said he was giving to the flamingo dancers with lumbago problems.
Yeah, that'd do it. Who was it? Some of the old timers, they said that Uncle Milty was hung like a horse. He had the biggest schwanz tucker in Hollywood. Yeah, Building Peace Together Project. Isn't that something for like John and Yoko, maybe?
It probably could have been.
Yeah. And, oh, here we are. TB. Where is the blah, 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 what's it? Zambia. Let's see. Local Organizations Network for Zambia will maximize the potential impact of USAID resources to make sustainable improvements in TB services by shifting accountability and ownership to local stakeholders through the LON, the local org networks. The recipient will support the NTP in cross-cutting areas, including blah, blah, blah. It's mind-boggling. Oh, here we are. Dansk Frightening to Help. FLYGTNINGEHJAELP.
He must be from Ireland.
Yeah, they got $16 million even for disaster assistance, Philo.
Well,
Yeah,
for whom?
yeah, for somebody, for Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not anybody here.
No, we can't have that here in the U.S., no.
No. The purpose of U.S. Bureau for Humanitarian Assistance, International Disaster Assistance Programs. Here's another one. Foreign assistance for programs overseas, $39,944,000. And I could go on. It goes on and on.
And you know what their excuse is for all these programs? It's just a small part of the budget.
It's only this much of the budget and it's there to help people. Well, no, we're done. Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, don't be a chooch, for God's sakes.
Yeah,
Give it to our
shoot.
guys down in North Carolina that need it.
You know, man, it's like when they called Robert De Niro a chooch. I said, I'm not sure what a chooch is, but it doesn't sound good.
I know. I'll tell you a story about that later, but you're right.
Yeah. Here's one. To the Virunga Foundation.
Ooh.
VIRUNGA. Virunga. $16,580,894.00 for a global development alliance between USAID and Virunga Sarl to provide renewable energy to at least 900 households and small and medium enterprises in Nyiragongo territory, which is in the outskirts of Goma. Okay, 16 million for 900 renewable energy to 900. How much is that per unit, Philo?
I'm not sure. What's the numbers again?
16 million divided by 900.
Come on here. 16 million, huh?
Yeah, close enough.
Divided by 900, you said?
Yep.
Whoa, $17,777.77 forever.
$17,000
And 17,777
per unit. 17,000 for each unit of renewable energy to small businesses. And here's another one. Rockefeller Philanthropy Advisors, Inc. And it's 20 million even, Philo.
Yeah.
It goes to Nigeria. Oh, you're gonna love this one.
Sure.
Ensuring the viability of public interest media is central to the aim of USAID's democracy, human rights, and governance strategy to support the consolidation of inclusive and accountable democracies to advance freedom, dignity, and development. At the December 2021 Summit for Democracy, the blah, blah, blah. So we're giving it to the Rockefellers. Here's some to the Mennonites in Haiti, Philo.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. 14 million to the Mennonites.
For what?
For research and development activities that enhance understanding of the barriers to inclusive MSME development, including market access and delivery of products and services. One key element of the attendees' research and development agenda is the use of new technology and blah, blah. You got to click to read more.
Okay.
Unbelievable. Here's a 34 million for fertilizer in Ghana. Okay. There's one of them in here, I swear. It's for crapping in the streets. Oh, I gotta find that one before we wrap it up. Bear with me, folks.
Okay, we can do it.
Oh, we've got a couple that goes to Libya, too.
Libya?
Yeah, productive enabling, 36 million to the West Bank.
Oh, that's gonna be all taken care of pretty soon.
Oh, come on, man, where's the crap? And we got family planning, that's birth control and abortions. People to People Health Foundation, 28 million. Healthy behaviors. To promote healthy behaviors in Cambodia, 16 million. All right, where's the, here it is, open defecation. Last but not least, boys and girls. Population Services International, locale Liberia, Africa, $19,497,956. Description. USAID, Liberia's health office, will seek to sustainability eliminate open defecation in 5 counties. The county sanitation activity will implement a comprehensive county-wide approach to eliminating open defecation that includes increasing access to basic sanitation services, focusing on improved sanitation. Yeah, we people in Liberia, man, they dropped their loads upon the roads, walked away contented. Oh man, okay, what do we got that's off the charts, Philo? Oh, speaking of which, this is from 7 Days. This is our weekly, comes out every week, surprisingly. And last week they did a profile on John Rogers.
Yes.
The guy who beat the progressive lieutenant governor.
Yay!
And because people were sick of him. Yeah, it was the Zuckerman had health problems, so people were sick of him.
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah, so anyways, here's the picture here. And he was riding around in a snowplow. Thanks, Philo. John Rogers, regular guy, you know. He hunts, plows snow, grows weed. And
everybody else in Vermont.
Grows cannabis, yeah. Yeah, well, I was doing it when it was still illegal, so meh. So, man, oh man, you should see the feedback. Oh, to the snowflakes do not like John Rogers, Philo. Beavers are being trapped again.
Beavers are being trapped?
Yeah, oh, yeah, they're back to trapping beavers again. Really, 7 days? You're joining the parade of media coverage of the aggrieved white male and his wounded masculinity, struggling against all the naysayers trying to take away his toys, I mean guns, and how he deserves more attention and uplifting in the face of unjust pressures on his heritage. And it goes on. There's a whole couple of pages like this. But anyways, the biggest story, the good thing about this newspaper is they every week they do a long form article, and in this week they did one on the homeless people, or unhoused as they call them, and it's crazy. This girl drives around in a bus when it's really cold trying to pick up the homeless people. And of course they don't want to go in where it's sheltered because they want to get cocked and do heroin and other drugs. But it's just nuts. These people are dropping like flies. And there's no apartments for them. Let's see. Without enough shelters, apartments, or support services, homeless advocates routinely argue that cuts to the $44 million a year program that covered the cost of motel rooms for more than 5,000 people in the past 6 months would leave them for dead in the cold. Well, hey, zombies, you sat there and said nothing while that moron, Joe Bite Me, let in 20 million Skraelings from every corner of the planet. And somehow they all get jobs, translating services, EBT cards, all kinds of stuff. And if they don't want to work, they go to Massachusetts, where they just spent $1.5 billion on motels for these people and free meals that they wind up throwing away and stuff. It's crazy. And did you see Trump shut off the money to the homeless shelter, to the luxury motel people, right, Philo?
I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, so what did this girl defies him. Her and 4 other snowflakes defied Trump's order, and they said, they just said, well, they sent something like $79 million to luxury hotels in New York City, and they got found out, and they got fired.
Yeah, I think I'm almost thinking Moonbats is better.
Moonbats, young Moonbats.
Huh?
Young Moonbats.
Yeah, not to be confused with Moon Zappa. She's a nice girl.
Yeah, and how did they catch him? Now, here's the thing. I don't like reading too much over the air, but this is from James Howard Kunstler. You can see him he writes under Cluster Fluff Nation, but it's not fluff. It's the real F-bomb. And he says, this is J.D. Vance, a quote from J.D. Vance here. They never prepared for algorithms that could map everything, period. For personnel prepositioned everywhere, period. For a president who counts every week like it's his last, period. Vice President J.D. Vance. If you wondered since 2016 how come the Blob and the Democratic Party were aligned so exquisitely in their operations to destroy populism, personified by Trump, and to permanently entrench single-party power in America for all time to come, it's because of an endless font of taxpayer money was streamed into countless NGOs, non-governmental organizations, creating a shadow civil service of Democratic Party activists that melded seamlessly with the big policy-making agendas. The money was laundered through manifold layers of these orgs and their sub-orgs to pay for an ongoing color revolution in the USA. Lawfare, election fraud, propaganda censorship, career cancellation, medical effery, open borders, and other totalitarian ploys, while enriching political players at all those manifold layers, from multimillionaire congressmen and senators to thousands of NGO officials making six-figure salaries, to street hustlers like Patrice Cullors of Black Lives Matter and anti-racism racist Ibram X. Kendi and his $50 million Center for Anti-Racist Research at BU, recently axed, and of course, ultimately, the former Potemkin president, young Biden, and his family. It was all this money that drove 8 years of sponsored insanity. Mainly, it kept the hands of the party, Democratic Party, firmly on the levers of power so that nothing could be done about the insults and injuries they're inflicting on our country. So is it a mystery? Is it a mystery now that nobody was prosecuted for burning the cities in 2020, or for magically creating millions of extra Joe Biden votes out of nowhere that year, or setting up the kickback machine from UK to Congress, or forcing millions to get a janky vaccine? Oh yeah, Pam Bondi is going to be a busy girl. The DOGE, or Dogie. I don't like the Doge. I think Dogie sounds better. Get along, little Dogie. The Musketeers. That's my favorite. I like Musketeers. Oh! Elon and his Musketeers.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. They've uncovered a government racketeering operation of which USAID scandal is but one cog in a colossal engine of grift. What the public may not appreciate is how much planning went over the past year to mount this DOG effort, and how comprehensive the work of its many hundreds of computer techies, not just 6 whiz kids. There's a lot of them, okay? There's a lot of musketeers. Has laid bare the money trails out of previously impenetrable government computers. Their algorithms have pierced firewalls, revealing decades of fraud and deceit. And it's true. It's only going to get worse the more they dig. Why do you think the libs are howling bloody murder? Because they know they've only scratched the surface.
Yeah, did you see they had a thing on News Nation last night about the assassinations of Kennedy and Martin Luther King? They dug up all sorts of new information, but they're not saying what it is yet. Oh, no, of course not. Dude, they still have stuff from the Lincoln assassination that's classified. Wow. I don't see the relevancy of that. Where did I find that the other day? Oh, it's in that book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, about the Federal Reserve. Trump's cabinet has started the job of dismantling the machine by getting rid of the employees who set it up and worked for it. Well, because that's what we wanted, and that's why the libs are screwing up. They don't get it. They don't get it. It's like we voted to dismantle this stuff because us old geezers, us gray hairs, right? Like me and Philo, we've watched this blob grow exponentially bigger and bigger and bigger every year since we were children. And Philo's older than me. I remember my dad watching it when and tearing up when Eisenhower did his farewell address, because Eisenhower warned us, man. He said that this thing, if we didn't check it and cut it down to size, that it would keep on growing and it would eventually control everything everywhere. And that's exactly what happened. And look at Kennedy. JFK said he was going to come in, he was going to smash the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scatter it to the wind. And look what happened to him. Guess who killed him? Yeah. It wouldn't be, well, they probably had a piece of it. Oh, yeah. Well, come on, man. It's that movie JFK by Oliver Stone. It is closer than anything we've ever seen. And it's true. It is. Let's see.
Thursday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio fired all but 300 of the 10,000 people working for USAID. CIA Director Ratcliffe offered the agency's entire workforce a deferred resignation, allow them to bail out and still get their salaries until September. Look for straight-up firings to ensue. Oh, this was on the, it's in here. Emil Bove ordered the acting FBI director to terminate 8 senior FBI officials and asked for a review of up to 5,000 of them involved in the J6 investigations, including presumably agents who engaged in abusive SWAT team deployments. Yeah, because these guys just came in and put the hammer down on Trump, what's the guy, Roger Stone, Steve Bannon, the other guy, the trade guy. It's crazy. All right, and that's in here. Oh, and they broke up Syria. They just have to break up Syria, Philo.
Oh, good. Now we have another two-state solution.
Yeah, and guess what's happening exactly?
Half goes to China and half goes to Russia.
Yeah. Post-Assad Syria is seeing reports of violence against Syria's Alawite minority, along with attacks on HTS terrorist group-led security personnel, A11. Yeah, here it is, right here. I knew it was in here. I'm thinking, where did I see that? I don't get a daily paper anymore. But here it is right here. This is in the Epic Times. Okay, and they're gonna get all these rat bastards at the FBI, I hope.
What's the thing about Syria? What are they doing in Syria?
Okay, let me get to that, Philo. They broke it, just like Iraq. They had to break it up because of Assad was such a bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Which he was, don't get me wrong, but still, you don't know who's gonna come up. Here it is, post-Assad, dogged by violence. And, okay, since the regime of Assad collapsed in December, reports have surfaced of mounting sectarian violence, especially against the Alawites. Since early 25, Syria has experienced dramatic escalation in assassinations and retaliatory actions by groups of gunmen, head choppers, in different Syrian provinces. The UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. Now, those people can't be trusted. They are the worst of the worst, man. They're just a front. They're a cutout for the intelligence agencies, Philo. But occasionally, you know, even a blind pig finds a chestnut now and then.
So what happened to Assad? Did he go to Russia?
Yeah, he went to Russia. According to them, which has long tracked rights violations by multiple actors in Syria, extrajudicial killings based on sectarian affiliations are mostly being reported in Homs, Hama, and Latakia provinces. These are not a surprise, said this prominent Turkish analyst. Yeah, because it was the Turks. Early in December, Assad's regime abruptly collapsed and his army appeared to disintegrate in the face of a Turkey-backed rebel offensive. And the Turks, that Erdogan guy, he's taking a secular Arab state and he's turning them into head choppers and friggin'
Another theocracy?
Muslim wackos.
Yeah, theocracy.
Exactly, a theocracy, just like Iran. I don't know if they'll get that bad, but they call him a strong man. Let's see. Since Assad's ouster, HTS leader Ahmad al-Shara, formerly known as Abu Muhammad al-Golani, has become the de facto ruler of Syria. On January 29th, al-Shara was declared Syria's transitional president.
Oh, a transition?
Yeah, declared by whom? I mean, us?
He's really,
them?
He's really trans now.
Yeah, he's trans, all right. They throw him off the roof like they do with the gays. Let's see. The following day, his first address to the nation, he stressed the need to achieve civil peace through true transitional justice. Yeah, right. Since taking power, they sought to distance themselves from its earlier ties with Al-Qaeda, pledging to safeguard the rights of Syria's ethnic and religious minorities. Nevertheless, reports have emerged in recent weeks of the Alawite community being subject to violent reprisals. Let's see. On January 24th, the observatory reported that unidentified gunmen wearing military uniforms had summarily executed 13 people in Fahal, an Alawite village in the Homs countryside. Yeah, okay, great. Allegations of sectarian violence have been accompanied by scattered reports of attacks by unknown perpetrators against the HTS. It's turned into a clusterfluff over there. Because that's what happens, man. We go in there and we take out these people, and then next thing you know,
We've got something even worse.
yeah, we got a group of head choppers that are even worse than ones that we kicked down the road.
Yeah, like the Shaw.
Yeah, what was the side? He was he's an eye doctor, right?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, like Rand Paul. He's an eye doctor.
Oh.
No wonder Russia took him. I think you have to have a trade or a job to get allowed into Russia, Philo. Yeah, let's see. So who was this? Directed the FBI. Where are we? Acting Attorney General Emil Bove, in a January 30 missive, acting FBI Director Brian Driscoll directed the FBI to provide the names of all Bureau personnel who investigated or instigated the January 26 breach and an unrelated terrorism case. The FBI is currently working to respond to requests for information from the FBI personnel assigned to certain investigations and prosecutions, including the events that occurred at or near the Capitol on January 6. Sounds like Alice's Restaurant, Philo.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. Ed Martin, the interim U.S. Attorney for D.C., previously launched an investigation into why federal prosecutors brought felony obstruction against hundreds of the January 6 defendants. Trump pardoned many of them who have been charged with the breach. The new request for info comes after acting DOJ leadership terminated officials, including prosecutors involved in prosecuting Trump, and 6 FBI executive assistant directors. Yeah. Oh, and they're whining. Dick Durbin. Oh, they're gonna deprive the DOJ and the FBI of experienced senior leadership. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point. Because they're rat bastards. Okay. Back to acting Deputy Attorney Emil Bove ordered the FBI to terminate 8 senior FBI officials and a review of the 5,000 involved. Many lawsuits have been mounted by blob-adjacent attorneys to make all this stop. But one big problem for them is the gigantic legal fees. Hundreds of dollars an hour on the meter multiplied by X hundreds of lawyers were previously paid by exactly those NGOs that are getting shut down now. See, that's why the crowds are so small, Philo. Philo was nice enough to put in some clips that I got of the Rent-A-Riot people, the only ones screeching down in Washington about these places being closed down are the congressmen and senators, because you know what? They can't, without the money from the Musketeers, without the money that the Musketeers have frozen from USAID and other slush funds, they can't pay the Rent-A-Riot people. They can't whistle up a mob like they used to, Philo.
Well, what's a guy supposed to do for recreation now?
Yeah.
Right?
And you know they're not going to do it for free because it's too damn cold out there.
Yes. Somebody's got to earn a living somehow.
Yeah. Where do you work previously? I worked for Rent-A-Riot, Inc. What'd you do there? Well, we sat around and we smoked dope and drank beer, and then when the phone would ring, we'd hop on a bus and we'd go wherever they needed a mob, you know?
We had to get off the pot, though, because we couldn't riot well enough, so we had to booze up more.
Yeah. And they'd give us free union-made signs and everything and put us on a bus, and, you know, and we'd get paid in cash from Soros people at the end of the day.
And we didn't even know what the heck we were protesting.
No, we just waved the signs, that's all, and they'd give us a few chants and we'd learn them, and that's it.
Next stop, Columbia.
Yeah. Let's see. The lawyer fees were previously paid by those NGOs that are getting shut down now. So perhaps you see exactly how those levers of power worked. The money will have to come from somewhere else. And I doubt that, like Silicon Valley billionaire blob supporter Reid Hoffman wants to piss away the rest of his fortune on this. Some actual persons will have to be held accountable for all the mischief carried out in rogue agencies over the years. It has to start somewhere. I nominate Samantha Powers as the first test case. That's her. She's like patient zero, Philo. She's the one that was handing out the cookies in Kiev in 2014 with McCain, remember?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they brought over bright orange vests and stuff, and, you know, they had the first orange revolution, and they got rid of Yanukovych, or whatever his name was, the guy that was duly elected, and installed somebody that was more friendly to the global friggin' meatheads there, like the World Economic Forum.
Oh yeah, those guys, like they're like the new version of the New World Order.
Yeah. Samantha was in charge of USAID for nearly 4 years, until January 20th this year, including during the duration of the Ukraine war. She was also personally very busy hands-on arranging attempted color revolutions in Hungary that failed, Georgia failed, Mexico failed, and Brazil succeeded against Bolsonaro. Ms. Power provided money from USAID connected NGOs to foster instability in many more countries, including our own. Yeah, did you see where they got busted, Philo?
No.
USAID they were paying the New York Times, Politico, AP, Reuters, all the big names. You think this makes Operation Mockingbird in the 60s look like child's play. It's crazy, man, that the news outlets that they were paying, supposedly news. Yeah, let's see. It must have come as quite a shock to her that Kamala didn't win in 24. USAID will not be paying for Power's legal representation. Much more will come to shock the blobsters and their legions. Though just now, as the reformation of government begins, it's comforting to think of all those dedicated seditionists, wokesters, Marxians, and Jacobins were unable to make their rent payments or buy groceries all of a sudden. The paychecks have stopped coming for thousands who wanted to turn American life upside down and inside out. Yeah, we're going to say men can be women and play in sports and do it, and use women's bathrooms and everything.
Yeah, I like how Trump put the smackdown on that.
Well, yeah, it was another one of his campaign promises.
Yep, and I'm glad he did it.
Yeah. This happened most colorfully at the fake news outfit called Politico this week. Turned out they were a subsidiary of the Blob. Who knew? Except everybody who was paying attention to the jive they published. Management had to send out a memo that reporters and editors would not get paid this week, or maybe ever again. Boo-hoo. It also revealed this week that Reuters, the AP, New York Times, Washington Post, and around 700 other news outfits altogether had been receiving financial support from USAID, the CIA, and other government entities. Now do you understand why the Democratic Party voters are so deluded and deranged and angry?
Well, they misunderstood that you can't have a whole bunch of celebrity endorsements and have it work. It doesn't happen that way.
Yeah, and they paid for those too.
Yep, they did.
We're old, we're drunk, and we're angry now.
Yes, and we don't even drink.
Yeah. Besides the perfunctory lawsuits filed against DOGE and the agency chiefs, the response to all this has been surprisingly feeble. You might conclude that they couldn't marshal the rioters this time because the money for the rioters has been cut off. Like I said, no more Rent-A-Riot. Instead, you saw a motley pack of political creeps. Jamie Raskin, Ayanna Pressley, that bald Negro woman, Liz Warren, the fake Indian. I'm going to put this on just for Pocahontas' sake, because it was mentioning Pocahontas that got me kicked out of Governor Phil Scott's news conferences.
By the way, did you see the Vermont Secretary of Health and whatever it is, Levine?
Yeah.
Retiring.
Yeah. What did I call him? Rubber-faced comb-over.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a real piece of POW. Yeah, let's see. Ayanna Pressley, Liz Warren, Chuck Schumer, Mad Maxine Waters, Jasmine Crockett. That's the black girl from the Virgin Islands. She's whacked. Ilhan Omar crying crocodile tears outside the USAID headquarters at 1300 Pennsylvania Ave. They look like roaches after the exterminator's visit. The reform of our gone rogue government is barely underway, notwithstanding these mighty initial actions. Yet to come, you have the whole filthy underbelly of the public health agencies that brought you COVID-19. The terrified Democrats are holding back confirmation of Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., but even if they fail, the new administration will put capable figures in those jobs at FBI, ODNI, and HHS. The party of chaos must know they can't stop the dismantling of their evil machine. And it is true. Beyond these grifts lies the Okefenokee swamp of treason, bribery, conspiracy, and sedition, deriving and starting with Russiagate, the impeachment of 2019, and all the shenanigans emanating out of the Ukraine since the Maidan Revolution in 2014. Turns out it was all of a piece. The same cast of characters were involved in all these nefarious events. I believe we'll see these young Biden preemptive parties tested in the Supreme Court. You haven't begun to hear about cases that AG Bondi will have to consider in that giant hairball. It's only her second day on the job. Have mercy. Yeah, it's going to be tested in the SCOTUS because, see, in order to the Supreme Court, in order to have a pardon, you have to have a crime. You can't just throw out a pardon and say, it's like an absolution from the Catholic Church, Philo.
Whatever happened to that? That was a good deal.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Pay him, pay him
Gotta
off.
get a front row seat in heaven.
Yeah,
No matter what you do, just give us the money.
yes.
Don't be funny. Yeah, exposed. Most drug overdoses. It profiles this guy. His girlfriend was an alcoholic. She used to let him stay at her place every now and then. And they found his body in a dumpster, Philo.
Wow.
Well, at the recycling center, yeah. It was unrecognizable because the machinery had really screwed him up. Oh, man. Let's see, the man's hands were bare. What do you need? Gloves, he told her. Back on the idling bus, a young man in the back seat was growing impatient. His face was marked with tattoos. He was woefully underdressed for the conditions. Can we get going? He urged the driver, then apologized for his sharp tone. It's cold, that's all. Because nothing says I'm employable, I'm smart and employable like facial tattoos, right, Philo?
Oh, yes. TJ Maxx just told off one of them One woman who couldn't understand why they wouldn't hire her.
Yeah, let's see. Before his death, Barrows had been holding on to hope that Keller, who called himself her husband, even though they weren't married, might overcome his destructive tendencies. She kept a video that she had recorded on a cell phone of him pouring out cans of malt liquor under her sink during a moment of resolve. She too had been homeless and struggled with addiction. Nearly 15 years ago, she found help through supporting housing, got an apartment in Heinsberg, met weekly with a case manager, also saw a therapist. That combination of support, a model known as Housing First, and perseverance to help her achieve a stability that eluded her much of her life. So I guess you can get 3 hots a cot and a free place to crash as long as you go to your therapist appointments, Philo.
It's called prison.
Huh?
It's called prison.
Yeah, that's got to be it, right?
There were guys in that prison when I worked there that thought that we were the idiots because we had car and house payments.
Yeah.
And they had 3 hots and a cot. But
it's crazy. Just weeks earlier, Davis, let's see, Death Files, Cold Weather, contributed to a homeless death. Ken Davis, 58-year-old Burlington guy, was discovered in a parking garage just before dawn in 22. According to police, he was sitting in a wheelchair covered in blankets. His lips and hands were blue. Well, that's what happens when you freeze to death.
yes, you hyperthermulate.
Yeah. Just weeks earlier, had been quoted in a feature article in the New York Times that brought Burlington's urban ills to a national audience. He told the Times he slept in City Hall Park and been spooked by a recent experience trying methamphetamine, which was then relatively new to Vermont streets.
What could go wrong there?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with meth. I mean, geez.
Yes, I want to put household cleaners in my body.
Yeah, I could tell you a story about meth. I had some once, unsuspecting. I went into work and the guys on third shift had given me some, and I thought it was coke, you know. This was way, like I said, way back in the 70s when people thought cocaine was not addictive. So I thought it was coke, and he says, "You want to do a blast on your way out?" Yeah, I said, "Yeah, sure." Third shift was coming on at Ram Industries, and I was running a CNC lathe, and so he gives, I did a little blast, and next thing you know, my eye starts watering and my ear turns bright red, and I'm all like, wow. It was like pepper, Philo. And I says, "What the hell was this?" He's there, "It's crank, man, it's some good stuff." I'm there, "What are you kidding me?" I said, "No, I'm gonna be up all friggin' night." Thanks a lot, buddy. Oh, here's one anti-Trump article. Yep, several Vermont organizations disrupted by federal funding freeze. Well, that's because, you know, thanks to Leahy and Bernie, 90% of this state is nonprofits. Remember, Philo, when we wanted to buy this building and Mr. Mayor said, "No way, the last thing we need is another friggin' nonprofit"?
Well, we just moved from one side of town to the other. It
Yeah,
wasn't
we
like
were renting over there.
What's that?
We were renting over there.
Yeah, but the thing of it is, I mean, it wasn't like that we were creating a new one. We were already here.
Yeah.
He didn't like us anyway.
But, yeah, that's true. But, but I mean, it's crazy, man. It's just crazy. There's so many nonprofits in this state. Several Vermont nonprofits said last Friday they've been unable to pay staff. They're had to lay off employees amid the fallout from Trump's decision to pause all federal loans and grants. The flow of federal dollars has been restored, but still disrupted or permanently altered. Some of the organizations. Joia, director of the Vermont branch of the Ethiopian Community Development Council, a refugee resettlement agency. That's just what we need in Vermont, Philo. More Ethiopians.
Oh, boy.
Why didn't I think of that?
Well, anyways, got another story. We got last but not least, so make it a good story.
Oh, man. I can go down and they got a discount on Ethiopians over in Africa. Oh, yeah, they're talking about the eggs. Well, the price of eggs has gone up because of bird flu. No, it's because of people killing chickens because they're scared of the bird flu. My Uncle Henry had 10,000 layers up in Caribou, Maine, man. And that flu would come through where the wild ducks would land in the pond out back, and next thing you know, his hens would die, and you just have to let them die off, man. You don't go through and kill the whole flock.
I think it's because the hens are now identifying as roosters. Anyways, time to go, Steve.
Oh, once again, oh my God, all the news I left there. Oh, once again, you wasted a perfectly good hour of your life watching this stupid show, so hopefully we'll see you again next week. Inshallah, as the Hebrews say, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. So until then, get down on your hands and knees in the men-only mosque, sniff the bum of the guy in the man dress in front of you, head east towards Mecca and worship the meteorite and say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Akbar.
And happy Deus Magnus Est to everyone out there.
Wow.
Threat to justice everywhere. And injustice in Gaza is a threat to justice in the United States of America. I rise to announce that the movement to impeach the president has begun. I rise to announce that I will bring articles of impeachment against the president for dastardly deeds proposed and dastardly deeds done. We will win. We will win.
We want waste. We want waste.
Including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, yes.
I thought that would. No.
Oh, I got it from the employees.
President like you. I got millions and millions of contributions. They did not come from the executives, not one nickel of PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. They came from workers.
2020.
Oh,
in 2020,
great.
you
So
will
they
be
still came from the drug company.
Because I have
pharmaceutical money
contributions from workers all over this country.
Workers of the world unite.
Not a nickel from corporate
You were
PACs.
the single largest acceptor of pharmaceutical dollars.
No,
Is that how you bought 3 houses, Bernie?
5 million.
Yeah, out of 200 million. All right.
I'll take a bit of umbrage here. I'll speak on behalf of my colleagues. I think I can say we are all willing to work with anyone who's serious about doing the work of censoring the American people and advancing progress.
What?
But they are not serious.
Censoring?
And of course,
To start
There's
lifting
the
weights
old
with
toad right there, Lloyd
you. It wasn't
Austin.
just weights. He did the whole regimen and routine.
And a black
That's
mask.
your Secretary of Defense.
Face shield.
Meanwhile, you had Lloyd Austin, who's a joke and an insult to all of our senses. Who had to be
I'm a toad.
hospitalized secretly
I'm a
and privately.
toad. I'm an old toad.
Well, let's get these images up.